mentioned a couple of times already, K's Engineering have benefited from a number of these programs and grants. So I'd like to now invite Mr. Lee Ascroft up, who is a Business Development Manager for K's Engineering. Please welcome him.
As has already been mentioned, my name is Lee Ascroft. I'm the Business Development Manager for K's Engineering. Now, K's Engineering, if you're not familiar with us, are a local engineering company. We specialise in steel fabrication, but in particular, we're looking at the more high-quality steel fabricated items for the mining industry, items that involve more complex welding, more complex control systems and testing systems. The company itself was established in 1956. I'll just move that one on. And it has been with the current owners since about 1991. The Managing Director, Angus Youngston. Some may know Angus. I tried to work out if that was an old picture because he looks rather young and sprightly. And when he bought the business, he said that he set out with a commitment to quality. That was going to be his benchmark. And so in our logo, we have K's Engineering committed to quality. It's not just rhetoric, it's taken very seriously within the business. And that was his focus. And I think that it would be safe to say, as I previously worked for one of his competitors, that K's do have a very enviable reputation for quality. Now, the current management structure, as you can see, Angus is the Managing Director of K's, and then there is a management structure underneath Angus to run the business. And over the years, we've tried to develop this idea of quality, and so we converted it into an acronym and had some discussions with staff and decided to come up with a series of core values and beliefs that we reckon represent our business. And we try to promote them on a regular basis through staff briefings, which we have on a regular basis, and also toolbox talks, to keep it in the forefront of their mind that as a business, we're trying to develop a quality business, not just any business, but one that is recognised for its approach and the way that it carries out its business. We currently have about 22 members of staff, ranging from office juniors through to senior managers. We have around about 69 at the moment on the shop floor. That figure varies from anywhere from as low as 55 right through to about 85, I think, is what we've maximised in the last 12 months. We have a number of facilities, but one thing that struck me when I joined K's was that they seem to have more cranes than any other company I'd come across. They've got heaps of cranes all over the place, so we've got a very good workshop, good capacity for steel fabrication. We recently developed our workshop number 3. It was a small workshop, and we recognised that there was a need in the market for developing that particular workshop to address mining issues, particularly in connection with assembly of mining components. So we needed a clean workshop where we could carry out full assemblies of mining equipment and then bring clients in to have a look at that. And we also offer that facility for them if they want any follow-on trades, such as electrical or hydraulics, those kind of things, that they can then use that space so that they can modularise it and then send it to site as a completed item. And that has certainly generated a lot of excitement with our clients, with having that facility available. In line with our progression for quality, we introduced a quality system, ISO 9001. And the idea was to ensure that we regularly and continually committed the staff to quality, and that commitment was then carried through to our clients, and that it was going to be a consistent delivery of quality items. Now, this is all managed through our integrated management system on SharePoint, quite a common program. All the staff have access to that through their computers. All of the documentation is kept on this particular system, so they can go through to access procedures or spreadsheets. Everything's managed through the IMS system there through SharePoint. We are certainly committed to continual improvements, and so as a business we identified 3 potential areas where we felt that improvement could be made. We identified health and safety, which is an obvious one as the laws and the regulations change involving health and safety in the environment, then businesses obviously have to respond to that. And we're seeing changes in Western Australia, quite significant changes, and we can't be left behind. We've got to respond. So we identified that as a key area. But also the accounting system that we use, the financial management system, CHIOPS, we didn't feel was being utilised to its full potential, particularly by the project management staff, in using that as a tool to be able to control their projects. And likewise, the Struma system, a very powerful program for managing fabrication. and we felt that that was being underutilised. And so, in regards to that, we'd certainly like to acknowledge the assistance and the support of the Industry Facilitation and Support Programme in helping us achieve those particular objectives. In connection specifically with the health and safety, it took us quite a number of years to gain accreditation for the health and safety, but with a lot of hard work and dedication, Case Engineering have achieved their accreditation for that. The aim was to improve the general health, safety and welfare for all employees, whether they be in the office, whether they're on the shop floor or on site, and to provide a safe working environment. Yes, we want our staff to come to work in the morning, but we also want them to go home in a fit condition at night as well. Now, the benefits of the improvement were very clearly seen in that we recorded 4 lost time injuries during 2009 through to 2011, and by 2012 we had no lost time injuries at all, and that was despite 11% increase in the number of hours utilised in the workshop. So we felt that that was clear evidence of the benefit of that particular accreditation. It's increased the awareness of health and safety right across the board. The staff, as well as those on the shop floor, all now have a better appreciation of the importance of health and safety. And we've also seen a 25% reduction in the premium that we pay against the government's recommended rate. So again, there has been a financial benefit, although that wasn't the initial driver. It has certainly been a benefit to us. Now, the funding that we received, are the slides moving on? The funding that we received helped us to identify what system we had in place and give us a clear path to accreditation. So the funding provided an external auditor to come along, give us some advice on where we were, and also help us to identify areas in which we needed to improve and provide ongoing assistance as well. In addition to that, we were able to get some training sessions for CHEOPS for all members of staff, particularly the accounts department, but also the project engineering staff as well. We're given specific training on how to use CHEOPS, and likewise for STRUMIS. The funding provided training for all of our staff as well. So we certainly appreciate it and feel that we have definitely benefited from it. One area that we had a desire to improve on was the way that we control various elements through the workshop. And so we have introduced a barcoding system which tracks every single item in the workshop. It's able to give you an up-to-date status of any particular item. And that's proved to be very attractive to our clients. They know that they can get accurate reports that tells them exactly where their projects are. And the funding helped us to buy quite a number of barcoding machines, and the supervisors use those as a means of controlling a particular element. So they're the ones that move it from one part of the fabrication process and then into another fabrication process. And that automatically updates the STRUMIS system so that at any one time you can access the system and you can find out exactly what state a particular item is at. And again, the funding helped us to do that. You can also link that in with your own barcode system so that when an item leaves our workshop, you can continue to track it yourself on site, if that's your desire, using the barcode system. In addition to that, we installed some proximity clock readers, so that sort of replaced the old clocking on system. The benefit to us really was that it helps us to get a very accurate picture of costs and time associated with different elements of the process. So rather than just knowing that X number of hours was spent, we can drill down and find out exactly how many hours were spent in this part of the process or that part of the process. And again, that kind of feedback helps us to look at efficiency drives, helps us to see if we've got an area that requires training and so forth. So again, the funding helps us to do that, and we're certainly very grateful for that funding. Now, with regards to some of the projects, Perth Arena, love it or hate it, personally I love it. I think it's a fantastic building. And I think when you look at it, it's a real credit to the city of Perth. It's hard to imagine that we'll ever have a picture of Perth without this featuring. This was during the construction phase, obviously. Altogether, it was about 6,500 tonnes of steel on Perth Arena. There were 3 fabricators that collaborated, local fabricators. But Case Engineering did the largest portion of the fabrication, with 3,500 tonnes being provided over that period of time. We also recently completed a project for Fortescue Metal Group. And that was an outloading circuit around about 500 tonnes. And the barcoding system was particularly beneficial in helping us to secure that project, because they needed to know exactly where they were at any one particular time. So the barcoding system was very attractive to them. One that you'll pass if you travel down the freeway, Fiona Stanley Hospital. We're coming towards the conclusion of that now. That's proved to be quite a challenging project, but certainly one that we're very proud of. $9 million in total, around about 1,000 tonnes, and we're literally at the sort of the finishing stages of that now for our element of the work. We're then going to move on to the Murdoch Hospital, which is next door. We've just secured that contract, and we're currently working on that with Brookfield Multiplex, and indeed working on another project with Brookfield, which is part of the Roy Hill development. We're providing at the moment the accommodation village, but we're hopefully going to secure some other types of fabrication on there. We'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge the assistance that we've received from the Industry Capability Network. They have been very diligent in helping us to identify contracts that we would be suitable for tendering on. And they've been particularly helpful, because even when we've dropped the ball by not registering, they recognised the contract and registered it for us and then notified us. So we certainly appreciate their help in identifying areas in which we can tender for work. And also the industry participation branch within the Chamber of Commerce as well. We'd like to thank them for their assistance, particularly with the industry facilitation and support programme itself. So that's a little bit about our business and how we've benefited from the funding. If you'd like to know a little bit more, or how we managed to get the funding, or what was required in order to get the funding, then myself or my colleague Paul Stevenson will be more than willing to help you with that. Thank you.